Prabhupada and Gurudev. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Today we are reading 8th Canto, Chapter 4, Ambarish Maharaj offended by Durvasa Muni. Is it from text 17, Mataji?
18, Prabhuji.
Okay.
18 to 28.
Okay, got it. Maharaj Ambarish always engaged his mind in meditating upon the lotus feet of Krishna, his words in describing the glories of the Lord, his hands in cleansing the Lord's temple, and his ears in hearing the words spoken by Krishna or about Krishna. He engaged his eyes in seeing the deity of Krishna, Krishna's temples, and Krishna's places like Mathura and Vrindavana. He engaged his sense of touch in touching the bodies of the Lord's devotees. He engaged his sense of smell in smelling the fragrance of tulsi offered to the Lord, and he engaged his tongue in tasting the Lord's prasada. He engaged his legs in walking to the holy places and temples of the Lord, his head in bowing down before the Lord, and all his desires in serving the Lord 24 hours a day. Indeed, Maharaj Ambarish never desired anything for his own sense gratification. He engaged all his senses in devotional service in various engagements related to the Lord. This is the way to increase attachment for the Lord and be completely free from all material desires. Text 21. In performing his prescribed duties as king, Maharaj Ambarisha always offered the results of his royal activities to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, who is the enjoyer of everything and is beyond the perception of material desires. He certainly took advice from Brahmanas who were faithful devotees of the Lord, and thus he ruled the planet Earth without difficulty. Text 22. In desert countries where there flowered the river Saraswati, Maharaj Ambarish performed great sacrifices like Ashwamedha Yajna and thus satisfied the master of all yajnas, the supreme personality of Godhead. Such sacrifices were performed with great opulence and suitable paraphernalia and with contributions of dakshina to the brahmanas who were supervised by great personalities by like Vashishta, Ashita, Gautama, representing the king, the performer of sacrifices. Text 23. In the sacrifice arranged by Maharaj Ambarisha, the members of the assembly and the priests, especially Hotha, Ugtata, Brahma, and other Advaryu, were gorgeously dressed, and they all looked exactly like demigods. They eagerly saw the performance of the yajna. Text 24. The citizens of the state of the Maharaj Ambarisha were accustomed to chanting and hearing about the glorious activities of the personality of Godhead. The, Thus, they never aspired to be elevated to heavenly planets, which are extremely dearer even to demigods. Text 25. Those who those who are saturated with the transcendental happiness of rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead are uninterested even in the achievements of great mystics, for such achievements do not enhance the traditional transcendental bliss felt by a devotee who always thinks of Krishna within the core of his heart. Text 26. The king of the planet Maharaj Ambarisha thus performed devotional service to the Lord and in this endeavor practiced severe austerity, always satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By his constitutional activities, he gradually gave up all material desires. Text 27. Maharaj Ambarisha gave up all the attachments to household affairs, wives, children, friends, and relatives to the best of to the best of powerful elements, to the beautiful chariots, carts, horses, and inexhaustible jewels, and to ornaments, garments, and in an inexhaustible treasury. He gave up attachment to all of them, regarding them as temporary and material. Text 28. Being pleased by unalloyed devotion of Maharaj Ambarisha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gave the king his disc, which is fearful to enemies and which always protects the devotees from enemies and adversaries adversities.
Thank you
Thank you,
so
Mother.
much. Thank you so much, Babaji. Hare Krishna, Rasa Chandrika Mataji. Please accept our humble obeisances. Om Vishnu Shila Prabhupada, then Gurmanaj. Mataji, please take over the call, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Please bear with me today. I've been having a little bit of technical difficulties. If I'll be able to share my screen, Mataji, I am joining from my Prabhu's name today.
Okay, okay.
If you could give me the permission, I would be able to.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry, Mataji.
No, Mataji. Meanwhile, I'll do my prayers. ॐ अज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमतिभक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा, धन्यवाद प्रणाम। Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji, for bearing with me, every devotee. Thank you so much for coming early in the morning so that we could do some Hari Katha. And thank you, Sundaran Prabhu, for giving me opportunities so that I can improve myself in my sadhana bhakti and purify my tongue. We'll start today from, we are already in 9th canto. We are doing 4th chapter of 9th canto, Ambrish Maharaj offended by Durvasa Muni. It is a very, one of the most popular stories we can say, or Katha Leela we can say from Bhagavatam. We have always given examples of how amazing Ambrish Maharaj is, and what kind of devotee he's been, how he is completely surrendered, how he uses all his senses for doing bhakti. And we have always heard that. For me, I read this and I was really excited because this is the only thing I know about Amrish Maharaj, which is there in verse number 18 to 16, 18 to 20 of this chapter, chapter number 4. Here, if you go in the details, it's very well written. Prabhupada has not given us very big, elaborate puppet, because the translation itself says more than enough. So here we see what kind of personality Ambrish Maharaj is. So he's saying that he's the greatest of the greatest devotees. And then it is said that he is a person who is completely using his mind to meditate on Krishna, right? I was just thinking how many things we do. Well, for me, there was nothing. But meditating your mind constantly on the lotus feet of Krishna is one of the most toughest thing to do. constantly to be in Krishna's smaranam, it is really tough to achieve. And Ambrish Maharaj was doing it like a breeze. Then, whenever he did not speak stories about Tom, Dick, and Harry. Whenever he spoke only in the glorification of Krishna. So, we see devotees a little bit grave, they don't talk as much. Really good devotees, they don't talk as much, but whenever they given an opportunity, they talk about Shri Krishna only. And that's what Ambrish Maharaj was also like. He used his hands to clean the temple, and he used his ears so that he could hear only about Harikatha. Then he used his leg only to go to dhams like Vrindavan or Dwarka or Mathura or something like that. He always utilized every part of his body, every little or big senses he had, only and only in the service of Krishna. And then in the sense of touch, was really interesting for me to read. He always did seva of the devotees by the sense of touch. He would smell only the fragrance of Tulsi Maharani that was being offered to Krishna. And tongue was used only in tasting Lord's prasadam. And then his head, even the head is being considered as a separate thing. Only head was used only to bow down at the lotus feet of Krishna. And desires was only to satisfy Krishna. There was no other desire, like complete following of Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. So that kind of amazing personality is Ambrish Maharaj. Without even before coming to ninth canto only, in canto number 8, 1 to 8, we give example of Ambrish Maharaj so many times, and now we get to read about Ambrish Maharaj. So he had complete zero desires, and the desire was only and only to serve the devotees and Sri Krishna. Here it is said that Ambrish Maharaj is the best example. Prabhupada says he is the best example of how one person should progress in bhakti. Now, sometimes we pick up examples or look at somebody who's superior to us and try to follow them. Prabhupada is saying the yad yad achareti shrestha attitude that we should accept as devotees. Our shrestha should be like Ambrish Maharaj. Ambrish Maharaj should be one of that personality that every devotee should try and follow. Here it is said that according to the instruction of Srila Rupa Goswami, the first business of a devotee is to accept the bona fide spiritual master who will actually tell you, give you the training of how to become a devotee or how to follow the footsteps of Ambrish Maharaj, of how he was a devotee. It is also said that Rishi Kena Rishi Kesha Shevanam Bhaktir Uchate. That means bhakti means to engage one's senses in the service of the Lord. On a very broad aspect, I think that there's a lot of bhakti being done. I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. But if you see it, if you look at it, how Ambrish Maharaj was, it is really difficult to attain, right? And with so much prosperity around him, he was still so surrendered and a devoted soul only to the lotus feet of Krishna. We'll move on to verse number 21. In 21, it is said that whatever he got in any way, he earned whatever he earned, it was always given completely to, the fruits were given completely to Krishna. Now, Krishna has already taught us in Bhagavad Gita that Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, that he is the person who is going to enjoy anything. You think you will enjoy, that's not possible. I am the Maheshwara, Krishna is saying that, and I am the person who is going to enjoy all these things. So, to understand it in a very crude way, suppose you have a property, whatever property, you think you will enjoy it, right? You will not expect anybody else to enjoy it because it's your property. Similarly, Isha Vasham Idam Sarvam. Everything belongs to Krishna. It is Krishna's. We are Krishna's. This universes are Krishna's. So Krishna will only enjoy. The moment you have this understanding that there is nothing for me to do bhoga in this, then the miseries go away. This is also, Prabhupada says in the purport in 5.29 Bhagavad Gita, that this is one of the biggest peace formula that Krishna gave us. How can we be peaceful? In this verse also, Prabhupada is giving us same example, that how to be peaceful. Krishna has already given us the formula, that realize that nothing will be enjoyed by you. Enjoyment will be done only by me. And the moment you will realize this, once you know what is going to happen, then you are not too much bewildered. We have bewilderment when we think this will happen and that happens, right? So when you know that Krishna is the enjoyer and you are only the karmachari, right, the person who's going to do the job, but everything needs to be enjoyed by him, we will be very, very happy. Here, further in the purport, Prabhupada goes on to saying that Ambrish Maharaj was also a very great devotee, and he followed every rules and regulations, you can say, that a devotee has. Similarly, he had a Brahman acharyas also who would give him advice, and he also followed their instructions very sincerely and very, very submissively. Here, Prabhupada is explaining us that a Vaishnav Brahman is very important to have in one's life. Right? Here, he is giving very importance to the understanding of Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is a surrendered soul to Krishna. And only that person, when he gives you instructions or guidance, those are the right things to do. Elsewhere, Prabhupada is comparing the situation in today's world right now. When we don't have kingdoms anymore, we have countries with different governments. There he is saying the people who are advising should be proper Vaishnav Brahmans only. There should be no advice accepted from a person other than a Vaishnav Brahman, because that kind of advices are not going to be sufficient, or you would say appropriate enough for the society as a whole to progress in bhakti. It is going to be very difficult. So, but we see in today's world, we don't have any Vaishnav Brahman at a higher post giving instructions or advices to any leaders of the country. This is why we see so many consequences also. There are so many downfalls we see in today's society, and the reason is this. Sometimes we talk that, oh, from the previous yuga we have advanced so much, but we forget it's Kali Yuga, it's degrading. We are not advancing, we are degrading. So here it is very important, Prabhupada is spoken very nicely, that unless a Brahman is not giving you advice, the whatever instructions you're going to take from them, it's not going to be for the welfare of the society. Why is he saying that? Then he further explains, because the Brahman has the attitude of par dukha dukhi. Right? So when a Brahman will see that the people in the kingdom are upset or like not happy for certain reason, he will be able to have compassion and gather an answer as to how to cure that. But a materialistic person would care not even a penny about it. He would be like, others are happy or not, none of my business, I should be happy. So when you have such people taking the charge of the society as in whole, miseries are going to be a part of it. But in the other way around, if you have Vaishnav Brahmans taking care of the society through the help of Kshatriyas, then there will be only prosperity. We still talk about people saying, oh, we wish we could live in Ram Rajya. For living in Ram Rajya, we need to have leaders and brahmanas of that ucha quality, of that topmost quality, to give us that kind of life. If we are not having those, if we are not taking instructions from a Vaishnav Brahman, then expecting to be happy is like below the wisp. Then we move on to verse number 22nd in this. In 22nd verse, Prabhupada is saying, in 22nd verse, it is said that even in the desert countries, where the rivers flowed, Maharaj Ambrish would perform sacrifices, Ashwamedh Yagya. And even in deserts, there were things grown. Why? Because of the way he was performing yagyas, and the water was also there, and because of the austerities that were being performed. And austerities were being performed by great personalities. And what are the great personalities mentioned here? Are like people like Vashishta Muni, Ashita, Gautama Rishi. All these people were there to help, right? And then Prabhupada also says, whenever such big opulent yajnas are performed or any kind of services are taken from a Brahman, a appropriate dakshina must be provided to that particular Brahman. And this was all taken care of by Ambrish Maharaj very nicely. So everybody was really, really content. And because of that content nature, things were also being done, executed very, very nicely. And this is all because of a very pious king. When the authority is very pious, things are subject to happen in a very, very appropriate manner. Here it is, Prabhupada is explaining in this translation that why are we not doing yajnas anymore? What happened? Well, what happened is we don't have good quality of brahmanas anymore. That is a very unfortunate situation. We don't have great kshatriyas who have the desire of well-being of the society, and then we don't have the ingredients for the yajna also. We don't have any appropriate ghee or lakdi or anything that can do a proper yajna. What happens with yajna? With yajna you get a good amount of rain. With rain you get good amount of grain, and everybody, the society as a whole, stays really content and happy. So Prabhupada is saying, but we are bereft of all good things. So Prabhupada is saying that in this material world, right now, whoever is an intelligent person will focus his mind and body on Sankirtan Yagya. And that is the only Yagya left for us people in Kali Yuga. Is Ashwamedh Yagya? Yes, very, very amazing. But it is not meant for this Kali Yuga. So we should follow the prescription that is given to us as per our state, right? When a doctor gives us certain medicine, I cannot make my own medicine because, oh, this medicine worked for somebody else. But it's not possible right now. For me, for us, Prabhupada is saying Sankirtan Yagya is the only way to get the same benefits that Ambrish Maharaj also got in his bhakti, and also much much easier and achievable by any personality, right? And then Prabhupada is going on to the it goes on to the next verse, verse number 23. In 23 and 24 will combine kind of. So in 23 it says that all the priests sat around the yagya kunda, and they were also dressed very nicely. They all looked like demigod, and they had that radiance in them. Only a good brahmana would be able to execute that kind of persona around him. And all the brahmanas and the priests sat around the yagya kunda, and they performed this yagya. And the yagya also took place in a very nice and good manner. In verse, we are combining a little bit of 24 together. In 24th, we see it said the citizens of Ambrish Maharaj were also accustomed to chanting and hearing the glories of activities of Krishna. So he is being such an epitome of an example, Ambrish Maharaj, that all his praja, as in the kingdom, is so happy and satisfied, and they are also following his footsteps. Prabhupada says in this, like in this context over here, that if a person follows the chanting and the hearing about the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we say that this material world is full of misery, dukhalayam ashashvatam. Well, there will be no dukkha if everybody is following these footsteps of hearing and Shravanam and Kirtanam of Krishna. He inspired so many of them, and none of the people in their kingdom aspired to go to heavenly planets. Amazing. Where generally, if we talk to anybody like a materialistic person, if we talk to them like, "Acha, what do you think? What will happen after death?" It's like we would want to go to Swarga. What is there in Swarga? According to that, Swarga is the last stage. That is the place where you have to go, and that is the best place for happiness. But here it is said, Prabhupada is explaining that the kingdom was not at all interested in going to Swarga or have upper a planetary system. All what they desired was to serve the lotus feet of Krishna. When I read this, I could think about Kabir Khan. He was also, I have heard his prayers. I don't know how to recite it, very incapable. But the zest of his poem was that Krishna, you don't have to take me back to your loka, as in Goloka Vrindavan, because I would really want to serve you. This is what Kabir Khan wrote. And for that reason, just give me birth in Vrindavan. However, you want to give me birth in Vrindavan will be very much appreciated. You can give me a birth as a bhakta. If you think I'm not eligible enough to be a human being, you can make me a donkey. Or if you don't think I'm not eligible to be a donkey, make me a dog. If you think I'm not eligible to be placed as a dog, also give me a birth as a fallen stone, but make sure it is in Govardhan Parvat. And if you think I cannot even do that, then give me the birth of a worm who is there in the gutter. We see it in India, but also in Vrindavan. Why? Because that ways I will be in such a pavan bhumi, such a amazing space, and I will be able to serve you. Right. So this is the mentality that great devotees have. That they did not necessarily go to the upper planetary systems, not very interested, but they would want to serve Krishna however possible. We have so many examples of Gopi also. Gopis once gave their foot dust to Krishna to cure his headache. And when asked that, you might go to the lower planet because of this, you might get bad karmas. The intention was no, that I just want to serve Krishna. Does not matter where I go, up or down. Right? The whole purpose is Krishna should be happy, Krishna should be served. End period. There is no personal intentions in that, and that kind of people in Amrish Maharaj's kingdom were present. Everyone was a Vaishnav. Amazing. Then we move on to verse number 25. It's a very important puppet, very well written. Prabhupada has explained amazingly. If possible, devotees, if you could read only this purport today, it would be really helpful. So here it is said that those who are saturated with the transcendental happiness of rendering service to the Supreme Lord are uninterested even in the achievements of great mystics, such as achievements do not enhance the transcendental bliss. So here, to understand this in a very, very easy form, examples given by devotees, one of the most important example is as this. Suppose, just imagine if you have been hungry since 10 days, not had a drop of water, not had a grain of food, like starving. In that condition, if I come up to you, sorry, but if I come up to you and give you two stale rotis, stale chapatis, from yesterday, and I give you, will you eat it? The answer will be yes, because you have been hungry for so long, right? You will eat whether it is stale or no. But when you're eating that stale chapati, at that very moment, in like 5 minutes, if I bring a plate of chappan bhoga, like how we offer to Jagannath ji, if I bring that in front of you, will you still eat the stale roti or you will go for chappan bhoga? Obvious answer would be I would go for chappan bhoga. Right? Similar understanding we have to put in this purport, and then it is so easy to understand that when you are given such a blissful, amazing rasa of bhakti, you would not want to be inclined towards the material happiness that we are getting just in form of sprinkles. You would rather drown yourself in the spiritual bliss that we get by worshipping Krishna. Because it is a long purport, this was just a summary version of how we can understand this. Here, one more important line was that I really liked was the difference between the spiritual world and the material world is the mentality of service. Yesterday, I was talking to one of the devotees, Shivani Mataji, and then that's when we spoke about this. It is there in Nectar of Instruction that the quality of one's bhakti depends upon the attitude of the bhakta, right? The what mentality you have to serve Krishna is really very important, and this mentality always to serve Krishna will develop when we are in a very good knit, as in good sadhu sangha. And this kingdom of Ambarish Maharaj is a great example of this, that because everybody around here is so busy doing bhakti that everybody is excelling. Hmm? Then we move on to verse number 26. 26 it is said that Ambrish Maharaj performed all his devotional services and practiced severe austerity. Okay, he did services in the temple. He had constant engagement of his senses in serving Krishna only. And this is how gradually, we have to really focus on this. Gradually, he gave up all his material desires. Sometimes we get really carried away and we try to do everything like in an instance, like I have to become bhakt today. And then we start becoming coming to the edges of fanatism. That should not be done. It should progress slowly, like how when we plant a, a tree, so first it starts with the seed, then there is a sapling, and then it grows into it. Similarly, bhakti should also be given time, mind, effort, like that only. It should not be like now or never, and then after that is never only, because you get so fried out. Right? So this should be really taken into consideration. Prabhupada says that service is not only physical, like marjanam and all that. There is also preaching is service, Prabhupada says. And this is also hard labor. Preparing the literature, preparing the content of your discussion, all this is also service. Going door to door, distributing the books. We have such amazing personalities in our temple congregation, we see. So they go around distributing books and they work so hard behind it. This is service to Krishna. All of this is austerity. This is tapasya. And all of this was undertaken by Ambrish Maharaj. And because he was doing such great austerities, we see in verse number 27, he was able to give up all the attachments to all his household affairs, children, wife, everything. And then he used everything that was there for him, like his such big kingdom. He used it in the service of Krishna. So when I read this, that the material things were used for the service of Krishna, I could think about Prabhupada. See how Prabhupada, at that age, when he was 70 and he was transcripting all this Shastra for us, he was also using dictaphone and laptop, computer, wherever necessary. He did not say, no, I'm not going to use all these advancements. This is not how we do. No, you should use everything, but when you use it for the right thing, advancement in bhakti, that process also becomes spiritual. Just many people say, oh, you guys talk about being in bhakti, but and y'all use this. That does not mean, if you're using any new technology, does not mean you are not in bhakti, as long as the new technology is being used to advance yourself in bhakti. So here Ambrish Maharaj also used all his funds, his riches, his horses, cards, everything. He had no attachment for them, but the usage was done so that bhakti could have advanced furthermore. We'll go on to the last verse. There's a lot more to discuss, but we have to see the time constraint, and we'll come down to text number 28. In 28, it is said, the last text for today, being very pleased by the unalloyed devotion of Maharaj Ambrish, the Supreme Personality gave the king his disc, which is fearful to the enemies. What does this mean? So, if we go in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining that a person who's completely surrendered to Krishna has no fear of any kind. And hence, we will get into the Durvasa Muni story from here in the next few classes. But a person who is under the supervision of Krishna should not be fearful of anything. We see one of the greatest example, Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj had so many atrocities on him. Sometimes under the elephant, sometimes thrown from a cliff, drowned, burnt, snake pit, so many things. But he was never scared. Why was he never scared? Because he had completely surrendered himself to Krishna. Now it was Krishna's duty that he has to protect his devotee. If he wants that the devotee should die, then the devotee will die. If he wants the devotee should not die, the devotee will not die. So here, taking that stress onto himself, Prahlad Maharaj knew, he was very advanced, that it's not a sane man's job. And he is completely surrendered to Krishna. Similarly, Ambrish Maharaj had also completely surrendered himself to Krishna. So everything about his protection would be taken care by Krishna himself. It is now his thing. I have already given this example, I guess, in last class only. It is just like a child who surrendered to the parent, and the parent has to think about the well-being of the child. The child is enjoying himself, doing his thing, but the moment he is under the jurisdiction and the protection of parents, he is well taken care of. So here Ambrish Maharaj was also like this. Krishna was really taking care of him. So with this, I will pause my voice over here. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.